welcome, sewing friends. Welcome to the Let's Go Sew family of friends here tonight. And this is another live show. So if you're watching live, so glad to have you here. If you're watching the replay, that's great too, because it works. It works for us is good. And tonight, I'm going to be sharing a very special friend, a very special guest with you. You may know her. She may be new to you. We're going to talk a little bit about gift making, gift giving, and I think my guest tonight has probably one of the most perfect patterns you could possibly ask for to make a gift for just about everyone in your life. So definitely want to talk a little bit about gift making tonight. So start thinking a little bit about the kind of gifts that you like to make and give so that you can share it with all of our friends here. So again, welcome to the Let's Go Sew with Joanne Banko live show, where sewing enthusiasts gather to be inspired and to learn to make the most of their machines. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I see lots and lots and lots of friends here. So I will say hi to a few of you in just a few minutes, but I want to tell you about my guest. So let me tell you a little bit about Jaime. Jaime is, let me get that back up so you can see it. Here we go. Well, you know that things like that happen. I think that's what I want. Yeah, there we go. All right. Jaime and I met several years ago. I can't remember quite when and how. So maybe Jaime can help me remember that. That would be a little trivia question for her when she comes on. But Jaime is what I would call a maker, a mom, a wife, a pattern designer, and an avid sewing enthusiast. She loves sewing just like the rest of us love sewing. And she is well known for her unique and very practical patterns, which you're going to see here tonight. She has an inspiring Facebook page known as the Social Bee, and she also has a very, very popular private Facebook page called So It's For Sale. And we're going to talk about that tonight too, because that is something that probably a lot of us are going to have some interest in. Tonight, we're going to talk about just chat, have a nice sewing chat about gift making, gift giving, and find out more about Jaime's wonderful world of sewing. So let me go ahead and bring Jaime on. Hey, Jaime.
Hi, Joanne. How are
So
you this
good to
evening?
see you.
I'm
I'm
so excited. We haven't done this
fantastic.
in a couple of years, so this is very exciting.
It has been too long, too
It has
long,
been
too
too
long.
long. Yes, we have a lot to catch up on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, I'm not so sure if we're streaming to Facebook tonight. So hopefully if you were on Facebook, you can get routed over to here. This is the first time that's happened to me, but I've heard there have been quite a few little Facebook glitches here and there. So we will have to see if we can figure that one out. I don't know. Any ideas for me, Jaime?
Well, I am going to look. It gave me the option to also stream it to my Social Bee page,
Okay.
and we will see if it's on there.
That would be great. That would be great.
And it
I think
is.
you are. Yeah.
We
Terrific.
are on
Okay.
Facebook. So
Yeah. That's the first time that's happened on mine, and I don't think I can switch it in midstream. So we'll go with the flow. We got lots and lots and lots of friends here.
oh, that's
So
exciting. That's really fun.
let's say hi to a few of them. We got Karen from
Hi, Karen.
Ohio. Robin is from Maryland.
Hi,
Doris
Robin.
is from Minnesota. I had to
Doris.
say it that way.
Robin.
Oh, Clovis. Hey, Clovis. Always good to have you here from Indiana. Gail's in Oregon. Kathy's in Utah. Anne is a frequent flyer with the Let's Go Sew live shows, and Anne is in sunny Virginia. You got your veggies
Ooh,
already
that I'm a
going?
little bit jealous, Anne. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're up in those northern areas where it
Yeah.
takes a while before we get that. Cindy's here from Illinois. Linda from Michigan. Joyce is here from
Yay,
Arizona.
Michigan.
Yeah. Sheila. Hey, Sheila. Marina, Martha, Christy. I'm telling you, we got lots and lots
Lot of
of friends
friends. Well,
here.
looks like a lot of people are interested in sewing presents. That's my favorite thing.
Absolutely. So already start thinking about what are some of your favorite gifts to give. A lot of that is probably going to depend on who you have in your life to give to,
Yep.
obviously. Some families have little ones, others don't have little ones. So Karen says, welcome, Jamie.
Well, thank you, Karen.
Barbara's in PA, Brenda's in Missouri. I think we're hitting almost every.
There's my mom. Hi,
Hey,
Mom.
Mom. Good to have you here. Teresa, you're with your sons tonight. Okay, good for you. Well, I'm glad you popped in to say hi. Cindy's always around, and she's saying hi to her fellow friend, Christy. Let's see, Sally's here. Sue's here. Was that all? Was that all what? I don't know what you're asking, Sue. Clue us in on that. All right. And my friend Dawn is here from Creative Appliques. Are you familiar with Creative Appliques,
I'm
Jamie?
not, but I
Oh, you need
love
to,
doing appliques, so I'm
you got to
gonna
check out her site, creativeappliques.com. Tell me if I got that right, Dawn. It is a great site. Oh, I just got to pop up these really quick so we can see a few more of our friends here.
I love
Carol,
seeing a lot of Michigan friends, so
all over the place. Okay, so yeah, so Sue must have been on Facebook, and you know what though? I'm seeing some comments come in from Facebook. So I don't know.
there's Lori. Hi, Lori.
And my friend Reen, I'm sure you're familiar with Reen Wilcoxon from embroiderygarden.com.
I am, yes.
Yeah, everybody knows Reen and
Yes.
all of her good stuff. So, actually, we're going to talk a little bit about in the hoop embroidery tonight, and that is Reen's absolute expertise. So,
I have the snowballs. They're always a huge hit.
oh my, those are like in millions of houses, I think, right?
I know. Yes.
Oh wow, Barbara's here from Kentucky. We got another Michiganer there. Lots and lots and lots of friends. So, all right. Gift making, gift giving, that is probably one of your specialties, right?
It is. It is.
And is that what prompted you to actually start what I call the best slipper pattern ever?
You know what? It really is. And I started, and I'm going to show you the exact one that I started with.
Oh, I'd love to see it.
Yep, it started with I have a little boy named Mikey. Well, he started out as a little boy
A
when we
very
started this
special young man.
journey, and now he's in middle school as a preteen. So,
Yeah.
um
Oh
but
my.
he loved this cartoon program, and it's called Robo Carpoli, and it was
Okay.
from hi Mikey, and it was from
I tell him I
Korea.
said hi.
Just close the door for me, okay? Not right now, honey, but just close the door for me. Thank you. Um, and it started out with this. He wanted jammies and slippers made with Robo Carpoli.
Okay.
I don't know how to get that in the United States, but and I couldn't find it in actually Korea, but I
Huh.
could find the fabric. So
Oh
it
my.
started out with the little one, and then I made it into, of
I'm
course,
gonna bring you up bigger so everybody can see.
yeah, the matching lady size. And then we did the matching daddy size. So that's where we started, and I actually have really exciting news because, as you said, wife, mother, sewist, I'm actually going to be a grandma this
Oh.
year. So we have
Oh.
the baby booties, and I actually get to I've been going crazy sewing gifts for my daughter because she's pregnant, but this will be her first Mother's Day.
Oh,
And
wow.
I can't wait to go overboard for her. And I'm gonna have matching mommy slippers and baby
Oh
booties.
my.
And yeah,
Oh, Cindy King says it's precious.
yeah,
Clovis says
absolutely. It's our
congratulations.
favorite.
Brenda says adorable. And
Yes.
Reen is going to make them for her grandsons.
Oh
And
my
Reen,
gosh, you
you
have
have
to.
to do it.
They're so cute.
They are
And then
fabulous.
I
Fabulous.
love fabric. So a lot of times the fabric speaks to me and tells me what it wants me to make. And
Yeah,
yeah, and
absolutely.
the little prints, you know, they make such cute booties.
Well,
Um,
before we get too much further, I'd like to go ahead and just tell everybody where they can find that at. So I'm going to bring up your
yeah,
Etsy page, and we can talk about that for just a few minutes. So your
yes.
Etsy page is called The Social Bee,
Yep.
and that is also the name of your Facebook page,
Yep,
right? I'm
that's
going to
the
put
name of
that
the Facebook page. Mhm.
up so people can see where they can find you on Facebook. But
Yep.
you've got yeah, slippers, of course, but
Slippers, of course. And
all
then
kinds of other goodies.
my other specialty, is welding caps. My husband is a welder, pipe fitter, foreman, and they wear these caps underneath their hard hats. And I think a lot of construction guys do, but for welders and pipe fitters, they actually use the bill, which you would think would be in front. No, it goes over your ear and it protects your
Ah,
face from the heat and
okay.
sparks.
That's
So,
amazing. I mean,
yep.
where else would you find something like that but on the social on the
Yes,
social bee page?
I know. And I actually have taught with my YouTube videos because I do actual step-by-step sew-alongs that I've had guys on the road go to Walmart and buy a sewing machine and go back to their camper and teach themselves how to make it. So it's
Wow.
awesome. I love teaching people and spreading the love of sewing because it's such a satisfying hobby.
It
I
is.
I
I
guess if you
mean,
wanna call it a hobby. I mean, it's
it
my
it's an
love, you know?
obsession.
Yeah,
It's an obsession.
absolutely. Obsession is right.
But I can imagine, I mean, you know more about this because 'cause you're married to a welder, right?
Right. Mhm.
Where would they find something like this in ready-mades, and what would it likely cost?
Okay. To find it in ready-mades, you're gonna find, like, a really, stiff,
Not so hot.
I'd say low quality
Okay.
fabric, and they're actually in welding shops, and they probably cost between 20 to 15 to $20, and that would be a one layer. And
Hmm.
mine are well, of course, they're high quality quilt shop cottons because you would want a natural material, but they're lined, so they're double protected. And the part where you'd get sparks, I put a layer of wool in there, wool
Okay, we
batting.
just we just got a question on that from
Yeah,
Marina. She wants to know if the welding cap needs to be sewn on special fabric because of the heat.
cotton, just
Cotton.
100% natural cotton. I also use cotton thread,
Okay.
although, by the time your thread, I guess, would catch on fire, it's probably too late. But I do try to I
We could
try
call
to
that a
most of the time use cotton thread.
precautionary measure, I guess we could call that, huh?
Yeah, right? So,
That's a
yeah,
great
just a really
question,
high
Marina.
quality cotton, and I pre-wash because I don't know what sizing does, if it's flammable or not. I don't know, but, yeah, I pre-wash.
Well, I think what's really fun about this, and I see you've got a lady welder in that picture too, so we can't.
Yes, me.
Oh, okay. Well,
Just
hey,
modeling
we
it.
don't want to be discriminatory, right?
No.
But I was just going to say that guys like cool fabrics just like women do. And that way you've got something that's really, really, really special. I think that is really cool.
Well, and it brings up a good point, Joanne, because there are female welders, and so we all tend to have a lot more hair.
Yeah.
And you can custom size your cap when you're making it to, um, cancel that out, or, make exceptions for the amount of hair you have to put up into your cap. So,
That's
Mhm.
amazing. Okay, so Carol wants to know if it has batting or fusible fleece. So what's the filler in there?
It's batting, and it's only in the bill part. It's only in the brim. The rest of it's just cotton. The batting is only in the bill, and I use 100% cotton, or I use wool. I prefer wool because it like I said, it's a natural, um it naturally retards the fire, and it's just preferred.
Myself, hang on one sec. And so
Mhm.
where would the wool come from? Just wool yardage, wool fabric?
Wool batting.
Wool batting.
100% wool batting is what I
Uh-huh.
use. Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Very
Actually,
good.
I
Yeah, and you're getting kind of a yeah, I know a lot of people like that for their quilts because it's so soft and lofty. But
it's
Brenda's got a good
pliable.
comment here. She says that according to her brother who does OSHA enforcement, he says cotton thread also no synthetics at all. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Perfect sense. Yeah. And Anne says she's got a lot of wool batting. Oh, very interesting, Anne. I have never handled wool batting, and one of these days I'm gonna quilt something with wool because I've heard so much about it.
It does quilt thinner, so your finished project is thinner, but on something like that is what you would want.
Sure.
You'd want it to stay flexible because you're moving it, all day long.
Very
Yeah.
interesting. Very interesting. So yeah, we're looking at the rest of the things here, and you've
Yeah.
got just all kinds of goodies. So
Lots of
what
fun
in
things. And
what
they
in,
all just come from my head when I'm
oh,
wanting to make something, and sometimes it's out of a, gift giving, and sometimes it's out of necessity. I stated that I work at one of our local fabric shops on Mondays. It's a wonderfully fun social outing for me. I enjoy it. I love being around textile people.
yep, yep.
And so one
It's
of
the
the
touchy-feely
items.
thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we were laughing because we kept taking our lunches to work in grocery sacks. And I said, "That is so silly. We have Insulbright, we have fabric." So I made myself a lunchbox,
Oh my, let me bring you up full screen for that.
and this one's great. It's got the handles. Um, I love these. These are Lori Holt zippers. They come with the double head already installed, and
Oh,
it
wow.
holds, because I like to. It holds my special bento boxes,
Ah,
so I
I love
sized it for that. And I had to call her the Foxy Lunchboxy.
it. Now, did you make up a pattern for that?
Yep, it's on the Etsy page
It
that
is?
you just
Okay, let me
showed.
see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it on here, bring it up. Oh, I see it, I see it. I didn't
Yeah.
notice that before. Okay, I'm gonna bring this up, and then I wanna mention, one thing that's really important. Has anybody noticed how reasonably priced your patterns are? I
Yep.
mean, that
Yep.
is such a deal.
It's
If
funny that you said that because I try to keep them all really low, so anybody, you don't have to spend a fortune to make something that you just really enjoy, and,
absolutely. Well,
you know
sometimes you only are gonna make one. I mean,
Yeah.
very often you're gonna use that over and over and over again.
Yep.
But sometimes you're only going to make one. And if you're going to spend $20 on the pattern and then
Mhm.
another $20 on the fabric and then
Right.
3 days making it, or
Right.
whatever, you've
Right.
got quite an
Absolutely.
investment there. So
And
that makes it,
I do put sales out, quite often. So, then my followers will have a chance to save even more. I do it like, it's raining a lot in Michigan, and I say, let's do a like 30% off sale to make us all feel
yeah.
happier again, or
Oh.
just like random silly stuff for
Shinny
sure.
says it's really cute. Clovis says it's nice. Brenda says it's really cute. And
Yes.
uh, she also very nice
Thank
price.
you.
Yes, I absolutely agree. I had a couple comments on the wool batting. So oops, that's
Sure.
Virginia, your computer's not working great. You didn't miss too much, but you can always watch the beginning on a replay. So no worries. Molly is a mutual friend, Molly Maid. You should look up Molly Maid as well if you don't know Molly Maid. Um,
Actually, I do,
yeah.
and I'm actually working on a pair of slippers with some Molly made designs.
Oh,
So,
cool. It's amazing how everybody has some little different niche, and that's what I love about the fact that we all, blend together. But she uses wool batting in her quilts, and then Deborah said years ago her mother-in-law made a quilt with wool batting, and 40
ugh,
years later they still have it. So
I
what does
love
that
that.
say?
And see, wool batting lends itself to keep you warm and cool at the same time. And it doesn't hold heat in, but it doesn't take heat away either. I mean, it's a wonderful insulator.
And Marlene, the mom,
Yeah.
says, Jamie's patterns are so easy to follow and are the best. I agree, absolutely, 100%. I love the way your patterns are put together. I've got your new one that we're going to talk about in a little bit printed out here, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get into it. But it's you write your patterns and create your patterns just for what I would call the everyday stitcher. So, you
Yep.
know,
I
it's
write it like it's even though I put like advanced beginner, say on the Foxy Lunchboxy, okay, it's there's straight seams, but I teach you how to do um binding your seams inside for a pretty finish, for quilting, for attaching handles, like you haven't sewn before. So I try to write them that a beginner could tackle, or an advanced sewist could be like, you know what, that just looks. I had the best review the other day. She goes, Jamie, I love your patterns because in between my complicated quilts that I make, I love doing fun projects. And I thought, what a wonderful compliment. So
yeah.
that's how I try to write my patterns. I try to write it that so anybody can enjoy making them, whether
Um,
you're just starting out or you've been stitching for years. I try to make it enjoyable for everyone.
and you do absolutely. Barbara is another fan. She says you're always so
Um,
helpful, and she loves your slippers. And yeah,
Barbara's amazing. She's a great person.
binding seams. That's something that would be worth the pattern just to see, instructions for that. And I love the simplicity of that bag though. And
It is. It's
you know,
all in the it's the simplest bag, and it's so fun because it took me a couple tries to get my it's a boxed bag with just boxed corners, and just to get the proportions right, it fits so many different dishes. It even fits like my mini um casserole dishes. So
ah,
if you want to take a casserole, or we're coming up to picnic season,
yeah.
I insulated it with Insulbright so it stays nice and cold, and it's the cutest little bag to take on a picnic, or a couple waters or something at the beach. It'll stay nice and cold with that Insulbright.
And it's washable. And
And it's
that's the other
washable.
yeah.
Yes.
That's
Oh,
the other thing I love about your slippers. So, like I said, I think your slipper patterns for all the different people in your life, all the different sizes, are probably one of the best gifts you can possibly come up with, because everybody wants to cover their feet at
They
some time
do,
or
they do.
another. You know,
And
now
see,
those of
I
us,
love slippers. I don't
yeah.
like being barefoot, which is so funny because I live in the country and I think I'm supposed to be barefoot, but I don't enjoy that feeling.
I'm the same way. I really, and I don't wear outdoor shoes inside the house. I wear
Yep.
inside. And so slippers are my go-to thing. But the other thing I really love about yours is the insole. So I'm going to bring up just a couple images, and let's talk a little bit about the slipper pattern in
Yeah.
particular. So this is just a kind of a sample picture of what it looks like before it's stitched together
Yep.
with the pieces and parts. And I know in your patterns, you give a lot of recommendations for what you would want to use for the actual fabric, and then in particular, the soles
Yes.
of that. So why don't you talk a little bit
Sure.
about the bottom part of the slipper?
So, the biggest question I always get asked is what can I use on the sole? And um it's definitely a personal preference. Now, for Mikey, what I did was I used slipper gripper, right? And it's got the little nubbies on it. And in our house, well, we have hard floors now, but in our house at the time, we had carpeting. So I wasn't overly worried about slipping and falling. But if you are, then you definitely want like a nice slipper gripper. The other option, which I use a lot and I love it, is cork. Cork
Yeah.
is naturally um non-slip and it wears really, really well. In fact, I'm gonna show you one of my personal pairs, and I have worn and washed these slippers for years. So if you've followed me, I think I made these ones in 2018, and the cork is just as nice today as it was when I made it. And these are felted wool.
Yeah.
So you can make it out of so many different materials. The other pair, and I'll show you my new style, is called the wrap and roll. And it kind of it this is called the perfect slipper because you size it perfectly to yourself. And this one, it wraps around, so it gives you more flexibility and room, especially if you're making it for a gift.
Hmm.
It does give you a lot more flexibility. Joanne mentioned my insoles, and I do put insoles in all of my slippers. It's got an extra layer of foam that I just slide right. Oh, that one I stitched in because it's my sample for the store. You just
Okay.
slide it right in there, and it stays because of the foam in it, and
Yeah.
it stays, it covers your seams, but when you go to wash it, it washes so easily because they dry separately. You're not stuck with layers that are still damp and because then it gets kind of icky, and I find they stay fresher, nicer, longer when you can pull the insole out to launder it.
Yep, I love that feature
Mhm.
for that reason, for sure.
Yeah.
But I have another thing that I like that so much, and
Yeah.
it's what I did with my first pair is I need a lot of support for my feet, and I need a lot of really good arch support. So I've bought the special insoles that they make, like for putting in your running shoes and things like
Yes.
that. And what I did with my pairs, instead of using foam for I just used thin batting, and then I put my insole in the slipper first, and then put your removable sole in to cover the top of it. So it just molded to that shape, and I still got that really good support, but I got the feel of just that nice
Oh, that's
fabric
perfect.
insole.
That's
So
perfect. I wear insoles too, so I'm actually gonna try that because I haven't done that with them before.
Yeah,
So
it works really good. It definitely works really, really good. So we got a couple questions. So I'm going to
yeah,
bring those up. Well, first of all, I got a couple more friends that are here. My friend Jan is here. Hey, Jan. Either or got here a little bit late, but she's here. That's what counts. June got here. Hey, June. She's another one of my local friends. So glad you all made it. So Barbara says she didn't know cork was so sturdy. So that's
yeah.
a real lesson in that. Because if you haven't made anything with cork, I got a whole batch of it here, and we're going to call this. Can we call it quilt quality cork?
I
Not
call it, yeah, it's the
only because
cork that
that's
you buy at the quilt shop, and
exactly
it does. It
exactly.
holds up, and um you probably can show with yours right there because I didn't grab a chunk, but it's more malleable than
Yep.
you would think. So like when you look at it, before she was scrunching it, it just looks like it's gonna be a harder, like, cork board material,
Yeah.
but it's
It's
not.
not
It's
like
very malleable
totally.
and very, very easy to use because you can see I get these, um well, and this is one of the things that my slippers are known for because I have this perfect round toe, and I teach you in the pattern how to create that time and time again, and you're able to get this nice round toe with that cork.
And Cindy wants to know. Well, first of all, Dawn didn't know that cork wasn't slippery, and,
Nope.
and you wouldn't know unless you actually were wearing it. Then you
Yep.
then you could really tell. Cindy wants to know, can you wash the slippers with cork?
That's funny because technically I don't think that the cork manufacturers say it's machine washable. Okay. And I only recently learned that because I'm just an experimenter. I do things that aren't necessarily the right way. And I have washed this pair over and over. Now I don't dry these, and I don't know if cork dries. I usually hang the slippers up, but especially these because they're wool, they'll
Hmm.
just keep shrinking. But I haven't had any problems with them. There's no breakdown of the cork. If anything, it's almost more flexible and nice.
And that was Linda's question. Does the cork correct.
No,
It's all about the quality of the cork, and
it
that's why I
is.
say if
That's
you're
what I
if you're
think.
shopping for it at a place that's going to be more geared to the better quality materials like a quilt shop,
Hmm.
or a direct cork supplier.
Yeah.
There's certainly Funhouse Fabrics is a great cork supplier. Reen, if you're here, help me out with Sally Tomato. Sally
Yeah.
Tomato. She's
Yeah.
got great cork. So yeah,
And her
and
cork is actually available through, wholesale at Checker Distributor, so, lots of local small quilt shops can access that. I
exactly.
have tried the Hobby Lobby cork. I haven't found that it falls apart, but you don't get the shape with the Hobby Lobby cork and I don't know if it's I think it's a little bit bigger chunks, but it doesn't turn, as smooth.
Hmm.
You can't, manhandle it as
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. I think I would kind of call and Peg's asking, is it cork material, not just plain cork? Yes, it is cork material,
Mhm.
meaning that it's not cork fabric though, because there actually is fabric that's printed to look just like cork. That's another whole thing, but it's cork material in that it's made specifically for stitching through, which is make it different from regular cork that you would buy for a bulletin board or something like that.
Yes.
But I think again where the differentiation is, to use my 50-cent word for the night, is that there's craft cork, and I have
Mhm.
a package of it somewhere in my closet that, was like craft cork. I mean, it'd be okay if you were using it maybe as a coaster or
Yes.
something like that. But then there's the
Mhm.
the the cork
Mhm.
that's made to be stitched. So definitely makes a difference. And Marjorie, you are right on track. it would make the perfect Mother's Day
They
gift,
really do. In the
or
court, I
Sister's
will.
Day gift, or Friend's Day gift, or
Yes. Or just I like to surprise my mom with like happy Saturday. Here's a
yeah,
little joy. Or, she's always embroidering like beautiful ornaments and, giving it to people in a card, and it does make people just feel wonderful.
definitely. Our
Oh, my
friend
good friend
Cheryl is
Cheryl.
here. Hey, Cheryl. It's so good to see you here tonight. Yes. Okay. So Vicky brings up embroidery. So how about if I share a few more pictures that show what I did when I made my first pair? Okay. So I'll bring this up. So that was the one that we talked about. And just again, just to remind everybody, you've got slippers for everyone in the family. Men, I
Father's Day.
love these. I love these. What
Mhm.
fabric is this?
Okay, so this is actually a really fun fabric. I actually got this fabric at Joann's, and it was in the upholstery section. It's a
Okay.
very soft velvet
Oh, wow.
because my husband didn't want a slipper. Now, see, we all love the fancy stitches and
Yep.
the stippling, right? He didn't want that look. And so I bought the fusible foam stabilizer, and then I needed a little bit loftier fabric for my tastes. Some people like it more flexible, but for our taste, and though that was perfect. And then I used a synthetic leather on the bottom of that pair.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Joanne says, so sweetness. I agree. Okay, we got some great questions. Of course, there's the baby size, which I mean, to make somebody a baby blanket,
Yes.
maybe embroider a few onesies, or embroider them or not, and include that, and a few other basic things, and those slippers, and you've got
Oh,
something.
you were gonna be like the
um,
star of the baby shower.
Absolutely.
Everybody oohs and ahs over the handmade items at baby showers, but if you go there with a little matching receiving blanket
Yeah,
and booties lined in Shannon cuddle,
absolutely. And
they're gonna request you to come to their showers all the time.
you're not kidding. And Vicky, hang on, because we're going to get to that in just a minute. But there's a couple of things I want to bring up. So because we've all got lots of great questions. Can you use faux leather on the bottom?
You can absolutely use faux leather. You can also
Otherwise known as
use.
vinyl, right? I
Yes.
mean,
And I'll actually show you a pair of slippers that I did all in vinyl. Now look at this.
okay.
This is like, isn't that it's a
Whoa.
scrumptious vinyl.
Oh
And it didn't, it was a little bit inexpensive. So I keep it for an example of, I mean, I love the colors, but it
my.
wasn't
Yeah.
an expensive vinyl. And you can see where you just don't get the same quality of turnout.
Yeah.
But it's definitely, you would not think that this would be a non-slip, but vinyl does make a wonderful bottom because it is non-slip. It will not slip on my table.
That's amazing, because again, you would think that would be
Yep.
slippery. Now, those would be good for keeping by the front door to run out and, get the mail if the
They
grass is
would. They
wet or
would
there's a
because
little.
they're gonna be waterproof.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I
Yeah.
love the fact that you tried,
I
different
try
fabrics like that.
everything. If it can go through my machine, and I haven't found actually a material that my machine won't handle. So
Okay. And actually there was a question on that, I'll get to it in just a second, but, Reen said suede would be nice.
suede is wonderful,
Yeah.
and suede makes the cutest little baby booties. Mhm.
Little bit of, maybe some Sherpa inside
Yeah,
there.
like,
Yeah.
little Uggs, wannabe Ugg.
Joyce can't wait to make some slippers. Somebody asked about needles. So,
Mhm.
right here, Karen asked, what size needle do you use? So I guess that's probably going to depend on what fabric you're
Well,
stitching them with, right? Give us some
it does
ideas.
depend on what fabric I'm stitching, but I do have my favorites, and I love a sharp needle. So I use Microtex 9014 with the foam stabilizer, and it goes through like butter. I don't if your machine's making a funny noise, or you think, "Oh, you know what? My machine's too old to do that," or "My machine's, this or that." It's not the machine most of the time. Most of the time, it's gonna be your needle, and if you're not using a nice sharp needle, it's not gonna go through the foam stabilizer and the 2 to, 8 layers of cotton and things like that in the seam that you have going on. So if you use the right needle. When I'm quilting, because I always pre-quilt my material. Um, that was some of the questions that I get. They can't get their quilting to look like mine. I pre-quilt before I cut anything out. I like the way that looks. And I use in my machine a 9012, and I use the chrome professional grades that you get in the quilt shops. I just it These in our local quilt shop are $5.59, and they're more expensive at the big box stores. So you actually don't, and you're supporting your small town store, because you're going to miss it if they're not there. So I don't hear you.
I just said those are great needles because they just make everything just flow, they just flow through the fabric so
Yeah.
smooth and so easy.
And I don't
Yeah.
know how you feel about it, Joanne, but a lot of people have always used universal, and I'm not a fan of universal needles because they just don't do anything great. They don't do
You're
knits
right.
great, they don't do cottons great. I'd prefer to have a jersey needle, and I prefer to have a sharp needle.
Yep, I think universal needles are okay for somebody that's just like, sewing a little bit of this and a little bit of that, not really all that particular. So they just don't want to have to think a whole lot about what needles they need. But I did a show a while back with Rhonda Pierce from Schmetz Needles, and you can I'll put a link to that in the show. But she tells you everything about every needle you'll ever need for everything you'll ever stitch.
Yes, yes. And then I keep them handy in my little go-to box. So then you have all your different, you know, things that you use right there. I love it.
Exactly, exactly. That's a great question, Karen. And Darlene says she loves Sally tomato cork.
Yes,
Caroline,
it's nice.
hey Caroline, good to have you here tonight. The cork she got at Hobby Lobby peeled. So yeah, I mean, I
Mm.
think what you find is like they're using thinner layers, and however it's put together, it's just not made to,
Yeah, because it bonds. They have
hold
it
up.
bonded to a fabric, and
And Gail wanted to know if you sell the cork material. To my knowledge, you don't have that on
I
your.
do not. I'm not a retailer. I just love supporting our local retailers.
I agree 100%. Yep. And then either or says she likes the Sally Tomato and so many creations. So many creations is new to me. So thanks for sharing that
I'll check that
resource.
out. I'm always looking
Yeah.
at different corks. Now, Sally Tomato does have a lot of really fun. I tend to always go with I love the gold flecks. I mean, you can see them in
Yeah.
almost all of my slippers. That's what I buy it, by yards and yards. And but Sally Tomato has a lot of really cool designs that would complement your different fabrics as well.
Definitely. And then Cheryl says, have you tried Craft-tex? So
Okay.
Craft-tex is a very unusual item. I'm going to just say a little bit of what I know about it first, and then I'd love to hear your take on it. But when I first saw it, I looked at it and I was like, if you've ever seen it, that's like your first reaction, like, .
Mhm.
But then somebody explained to me, they said, the labels that they put on the back of jeans,
Mhm.
that are imprinted with the logo, that's made from a material that is essentially identical to Craft-tex. So it's kind of like a washable, papery looking stuff.
Mhm.
And it definitely does wash, and it definitely does hold up. So let me hear your thoughts on it.
Okay, so I have played around with Craft-tex. I actually enjoy working with it. I make labels with the white Craft-tex, but before you use it, before I use it, what I do is I throw it in the washing machine and I have it run through a couple crazy agitation cycles.
Yep. You crinkle it all up. Do you kind of like
Crinkle it
mash
all
it?
up.
That's what I like to
I
do.
throw it through the washing machine the first cycle, then I pull it out wet and I crinkle it up and then I throw it in there again. Otherwise, it's very stiff and not malleable at all.
Yep.
After it's gone through a couple cycles, you can actually use it. And I don't have a pair of slippers around here with it, but I have tried it on the sole and it holds up.
And is it good for non-skid too? I would think it would be.
But it is good for non-skid.
Okay.
Um, the only problem is when you throw it in the washer again, you do have to press it out because it tends to crinkle back up. So
Okay.
it's an
Okay.
interesting fabric to work with.
It
I
is.
do enjoy it, but I wouldn't use it for your first pair.
Okay. And Lois, you're right on target. It's you could call it faux leather, you could call it
Yes,
whatever. It's like it's like in a world of its own. So
it is.
it's definitely
It's
hard to
fun.
define. Yeah, it
You
is a
can
wow
stamp
quilter.
on it, and it's a great way to create the labels for your items.
Yep. And Peg's got a terrific question. Hey Peg, glad you're here with us tonight. Um, could these be made sturdy enough to be shoes?
Okay, so I have played with this a little bit, and I've made leather slippers, like a really soft, like lambskin leather top. And then what I've done is I've glued the sole to um a pair of uh dollar store flip-flops. So I cut the flip-flop off and I just used the sole. I haven't perfected that, but you could play around with that and get pretty good at it, I bet. You'd have to find the right sole that fit the way your slipper fits.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
whatever size that is, and then just kind of shape it down, but it's definitely doable.
Yeah, and then again, think about the suggestion of getting good supportive insoles
Yes.
and putting those, inside there, whether you put another pad in there or not. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's what really makes a shoe is the
Yep.
construction of it.
It
That it,
is. It is.
a lot of it too depends on your own personal feet, you know,
And
and what you need.
that's the thing, because when you're designing slipper patterns and you're designing welding caps, a lot of us in the quilting world, we forget that these are garments, right? So even as I write the pattern, I'm writing them for a broad audience,
Yeah,
and sometimes we need to take tweaks because our feet might not fit the same. Joanne and I might both wear size 7 shoes, but our feet are not gonna fit the
yeah,
same,
yep,
you
yep,
know?
and that's why the other 2, I like the different styles that you have
Yep,
because, like that one, the real rounded one is good for a roomier toe,
yep.
and you can customize it. So maybe we should talk about that in a couple minutes, but I wanna
Mhm.
bring just a couple more comments. Well, of course, Barb, I took her off right away. Hey, Barbara from Texas, my friend from Texas. She thinks the slippers are wonderful.
Thank you,
Agree.
Barbara.
And, think about it, how fun to make slippers to match your outfit. And even if that's like just around the house,
Yes.
I think that would be, I want to make a pair out of jeans. Have you done any out of
I
jeans?
have done some out of jeans, and I love denim because it lends itself beautifully to embroidery, which, we're talking to one of the queens of the
Well, we'll see.
embroidery
We got to,
there,
we got to show
so
that in a minute.
yeah, yeah, so I think denim would be super cute in a pair.
Yeah. And,
I think you could use your nice line embroideries and be able to like on this one and be able to wrap it around. I think that would be gorgeous.
oh my, the sky's the limit.
It
The
is.
sky is the limit.
Mhm.
And then make them out of maybe like a crepe back satin
Oh,
fabric and, make yourself a robe to match. And, I think a lot of us, maybe I'm the oddball. I don't know here, but I think a lot of us kind of got used to being closer to home when travel
Mhm.
was so restricted, and we've kind of, kind of indulged ourselves in a few more things that are wearing around the house, but comfortable, but make you feel good. So
Yes.
I think having a nice matching pair of slippers would be great for that. Jane uses Microtex needles most of the time. Microtex needles are fabulous. Just always remember that Microtex needles are very, very, very thin. They're made to make the smallest hole possible. So sometimes you might mean you need to size up a little bit. And also just be careful that you don't push or pull your fabric, because that little bit of bending on a regular, stronger needle, it could take that. But Microtex needles, the tip is even so tiny that it can break really easily. So just be aware of that. Robin wants to know, can you use fabric that's pre-quilted?
Ah,
I think
absolutely.
I think
Oh
that's a
my
big yes.
goodness. So I found this chunk of I went to this quilting swap and sale or something, and people get rid of things, people buy things. And so she was getting rid of a bunch of pre-quilted fabric. Well, that's what I use when I create these samples. And this is pre-quilted, and then I lined it with some Shannon dot cuddle, and these are going to make the coziest little slippers, and you don't need to do anything else. You just cut it out and cut out your lining, and it's wonderful. It takes a lot of the time away. You don't have to pre-quilt it. Yep. And there's so
Beautiful.
many different beautiful designs out there.
Yeah, definitely. And then Reen from Embroidery Garden says she wonders how wax canvas would work.
That's one of the materials I have not tried. I have not tried waxed canvas.
I'm not so sure about the
I don't
laundering.
I don't think it would launder well, but I
Yeah,
don't think it would wear on the sole well either.
it's a very unusual fabric, and it is
Mhm.
popular with, for a certain look. Renee says she Googled So Many Creations cork fabric selections. Awesome. That is good to know, because I really was not familiar with that site at all.
So near
And
what Joanne and I'll be doing this evening.
yeah, exactly. What time are we
I
done here?
know, I'm like, "What? Hurry up. What's your question?" No, I'm just kidding.
Bobby says it's all so informative. She can't wait to make slippers. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the chat, if and we could certainly talk about other kinds of gifts, but if you feel like we do, that
Yeah.
slippers might very well be one of the most perfect gifts that you can give. And even think about, there are a lot of us like to make things to give for charity items, and
Mhm.
you could just take that pattern, cut out every size, make out every size, make a bunch, take it to, a nursing home or a women's shelter.
Yeah,
And I mean, think about that,
absolutely.
making slippers that are beautiful,
Mhm.
washable, comfortable, and wearable is definitely going to brighten somebody's life for sure. Yeah.
We're in our local area, we have a foster closet for children that have been removed from their homes, going to a
Yeah.
foster home, and they get care bags. So we like to
Mhm.
do
Yep,
slippers, pillowcases, little cosmetic bags with
the
needed things
goodies
in
in
there,
it,
and it's
yeah.
so much fun when you can make them all
Oh
matching.
my. That's isn't that the beauty of sewing? I know
It
everybody
really
here is
is.
gonna agree that there's love in every stitch, whether you're
Oh,
doing it, for something you're making for yourself, you're putting a lot of, effort into that, or if you're making it for a gift, or you're giving it to somebody that you have no idea, you'll never see their face, but you know that you're giving them a gift of love, and
oh,
how
absolutely.
special is
Mhm.
that?
I have
So
found that sewists and quilters are just such giving, loving people.
absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely, absolutely. So Dawn from Creative Applique says, great idea to use the sole of flip flops. So somebody must have mentioned that and I missed it, but I
Oh,
hadn't thought about that. Was that you that
it
said
was
that?
me.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
so
must have
I
missed that.
sewed the leather shoe, and then I glued a flip-flop
Okay.
with
Yeah.
actual shoe cement from I bought it on Amazon, and it was an actual cobbler cement, and it works. It's just not really pretty. I haven't figured out how to seamlessly combine them and make them look pretty, but
Yeah.
Dawn might.
And then Linda's reminding us about our friend Rhonda Pierce, who has Schmetz has videos monthly, and the next one is Wednesday. So just, I think those
Oh,
are all on Facebook. I'm not sure if they're on YouTube. Let me know if I'm incorrect on that. But if you just look up Schmetz Needles or Rhonda Pierce, I'm sure you could find it. And Anne, I couldn't agree with you more.
yes,
It's that's the other thing. I mean, you really feel like you're giving a gift of what the gift that was given to you. I feel that
absolutely.
it just knowing how to sew and loving sewing
Hmm.
is a gift from God in and of
Oh, I
itself
know, and it
because
just makes you feel like that's why I love
yeah,
sharing it, like, we were given certain abilities and that we can use those abilities to give back.
absolutely. Oh, Barbara's got a really cool idea. Weddings or prom.
Mhm.
I mean, think about making that for the wedding party, just where they're getting ready or they're kicking their shoes off later at
Yes,
night and they want something pretty to match their dresses. Yep,
and I actually have
absolutely.
a tip for that. So, when
Sure.
you go I love salvaging fabric, and one less thing that I s or one additional thing that I salvage is one less thing, like, in a landfill, but you can find some of the most gorgeous high quality fabrics, and Joanne and I have talked about this before at a thrift shop or Goodwill or something like that, and I hoard cashmere. I love cashmere, and I showed you some of my merino wool slippers. And here's this was a silk scarf that
Ah,
I had picked up. And so this is silk. So can you imagine going to a thrift store and rescuing a 1990s silk wedding gown that, probably nobody has a use for, it's out of style or whatever, and saving that fabric, and you could make the whole wedding party slippers from
yeah.
one $10 silk dupioni wedding gown. It would be
Oh, my.
fantastic.
Really, really, just great ideas. June used pre-quilted to make the booty slippers. Good for
Oh,
you,
yes.
June. Yeah, because those are available in adult size as
Yes,
well.
they
Yeah.
are.
Let me bring that back up so we can see those. Let's see.
And we call this one the
Mhm.
mama booty.
No, that is that right there. Right
Yep.
there. Let's bring that one up. Let me bring that one up. There we go.
And
Yeah.
this also has a snap. On this pair, I did a hidden snap. So just
So
kind of
those of
a
us that
little
need to
sew
stay
in.
warm, it would be perfect. Absolutely
Yes,
perfect. Marjorie says she just needs to find more hours in the day. I know, but they do go together really, really quick.
they do.
Especially once
Especially
you
if
made
you
the
use the
first one.
pre-quilted fabric, you can make these in an afternoon.
Definitely.
Yep.
Yep. Definitely. Let's see. Oh, let me get another screen here. Oh, yeah. For those of you that like to make pajamas for everybody for the
All the
holidays,
different sizes. Oh my
now you're going to be
gosh.
making matching slippers to
I'm
go with
picturing
it.
it already.
Yep. And okay, so Shirley's asking where we get the pattern, and I'm going to go ahead and put in the comments the link to your um, Etsy shop.
Okay.
So give that a minute to get in there. That'll go into the comments. Let me see if it showed up. No, an error occurred. Okay.
I see it.
Can you get it in there? Let me try
Um,
again.
yeah.
Might be because I waited too long. There it is. It's in there.
Oh, you see it? Okay.
Yep. Yep. It's in there. So, and then of course, the social bee, you can also connect to the Etsy shop from your Facebook page that
Yep.
we have going along the bottom too.
Yep. And I
Right
try to every time I put out a post, I do try to put a link back to the shop so you don't have to try to search all over to find something. Yeah, I
Very
try to
good.
make that
Very good. Barbara's got a yep, ankles get cold. That's
yes.
it's a
And if
perfect
you
fix for
lined
that.
it with the cuddle, it'd be even warmer, right?
Barbara wants to fill the slippers with chocolate. That's better than a stocking. Hang the slippers up on the.
That would be so cute, giving slippers and
I
then you can
love
throw
it.
the
And yeah, surely it would be so perfect. So absolutely perfect. Silk ties. Anne has a great idea there with silk
Mhm.
ties for the men. Yep. Clovis says they're pretty. Yep. 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 Okay. Her website. So the in the comments, I actually posted the Etsy page. So currently that is where they would be purchasing from the actual
Yes. I'm working
Etsy
on a
page.
Shopify site so they could buy directly from me because and there is a way that I can set it up for instant downloads and things like that, but um I like to give those creative designers and web designers a lot of credit because holy moly, it's not my forte. So I keep my Etsy going, and one of these days I'll finally have my Shopify up
Okay,
and
well
running and have my own website, but have the Etsy.
you let us know when that happens, and we'll make sure everybody knows about it. Yep.
Oh, I'll shout
So
it from the rooftops. I'll be really
all
proud of
right.
myself at that point.
So there is the Etsy shop. So that's what we're showing here. And you'll find all of those great patterns there. Everything all in one place. So let me bring back up, because we did want to talk a little bit about embroidery. So let me bring
Yes.
that back up. And when I created my first pair, actually these were published on the Brother Stitching social site. So I think I have a link to that. Let me see. I'll find it and post that in the show notes. But maybe I've got it here. Let me see here. Too many things. Yeah, there we go. Right there. So it's a long one, but if you type in Brother Stitching Social Blog, so it's SEWCIAL, just like your
Yeah.
just like you spell yours
Mhm.
with that. You'll be able to find that. And it's will take you step by step through. But what I wanted to do was take advantage of using the option that I have on as a Brother ambassador on my Brother machine to actually create pre-quilted fabric. So if you have Design Center, my Design Center on any of your machines, there's a variety of machines out there that have that option. If you have that option, you could just create a whole hoop full of the quilted stitches, quilt the entire piece of fabric. I just used just fusible batting with mine, and I like fusible batting just because you could make it a little bit thinner by pressing it hard, or you can just press it light and leave it a little bit more fluffy. But I just filled the whole hoop, so whatever size your pattern would fit on. So if you saw my previous screen, there's the actual pattern, and this one that you see on the left there is cut on the fold, and then you can kind of see what it looks like when I traced it onto the pre-quilted fabric. And then that allowed me then to just use my projector in the machine. I could also have used a template, so use whatever works for you. In the instructions, I actually show you how you could use this if you just pre-quilt the fabric yourself, and then you have just like a 4x4 hoop. So anybody can do this. You don't have to have a big fancy machine to do this, but it does help if you can, see that design before you stitch it. But otherwise, you just use a template. And then once that was all embroidered, I simply cut it out on the lines and sewed them together, so you could see my pieces and parts there and kind of how it looks. And then I actually did use the non-skid uh, slipper fabric that you showed for those. Yeah, that works really good, and that's what they came out like. So very easy to do the embroidery on that. And if you can pre-quilt it, it's a great way to do it. You could also purchase stipple filling patterns. I think you've actually got that on your site, don't
I
you?
do. I do.
Yeah.
So it's
Let me find it.
Well, let me put this one back up because you can really see the stitching. I used gold. And actually, this is a funny story because one of the times when Joanne was on my show, we were talking about how I struggled with metallic thread. And I think you gave me the suggestion of going with a micro-tex versus an embroidery
Okay.
needle. And it works beautifully. But for all of us that are not as blessed with the machine that'll fill the stipple for us, I did create a stippling design. I did I'm not sure the word. I created it in lots of different versions for different machines.
File formats. We call
But
those file
thank you. I
formats.
did
Yep.
format it
Yep.
for
Yep.
yes.
Yep. You can
So,
see that in the description. So that works out really, 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 really good. So
yes.
do you believe we've been going for over a
No, I
little
can't
over
believe
an
it.
hour already? I'm going to take just a minute. Again, I just want to thank everybody for everybody that's here live. It's always so much fun. We always, it's a
We
lot of
do.
the same crowd. A lot of it are the same friends that we join together, but
It's
we always have so
great.
much fun. And I love reading all the comments and all the different ideas that are shared. And it's always very inspiring for me to be here with all of you as well. But if you're watching on the replay, I thank you for that as well. And then, of course, those of us that are on YouTube, those of us that are on Facebook, particularly YouTube, we really appreciate the like because what that does is it not only helps us in doing it, yep, share the love, but it also allows these videos to be shown to others because what YouTube does is it looks at that and says, oh, a bunch of sewing people liked this. Maybe a bunch more would like it too. So it shows it to those people as well. So it's like you're sharing with sewing friends that you may or may not ever meet. And then I'd also, of course, love to have you visit letsgosew.com. If you're new here, welcome. Like I said, we're all a lot of us are old friends here.
We are, yeah.
But if you're new or you're watching this for the first time, lots of tips and techniques and tutorials and always more being added. And a lot of times I have a lot of things that I follow up with from the live shows posted on my website. So PDFs and video replays and all that kind of thing. So always happy for you to visit my site as well. I really appreciate everybody being here. So let's see. Oh yeah. Mary Lou says beautiful gift to the bride from the mother
Yes.
or grandmother's wedding gown. Oh wow. That's a fabulous idea, Mary Lou. I love that idea. Absolutely. And lots and lots of people thanking you. So this has just been a great show, Jamie. Have I forgotten anything I should have
Well,
asked you?
I'm gonna throw just a couple of things out there.
Okay.
Joanne, I met you actually through my So It's For Sale site. I put myself out there randomly one day and thought, I'm gonna try this new crazy thing that Facebook was doing with a Facebook Live. And next thing I know, Joanne Banko was on my Facebook Live saying, thank you for keeping sewing alive and things like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a fangirl moment. So
Yes.
I was really excited about that. And from then on, we've just chatted and gone on video. And I love being on your show because I get to visit with you and a whole nother audience, and it's a lot of fun.
Likewise.
And one of the things, I am in Michigan, and I see that we have a lot of not north, but northern, okay, but a lot of Midwesterners. And I wanted to make sure everybody knew about our All Michigan Shop Hop. It's um, not just for Michigan; they're doing them in all sorts of other states. And this company has put together these amazing shop hops for small quilt shops to get noticed and to get new business. And like I said, I'm working in one on Mondays, helping a good friend of mine out. And we have a blast. And I had to design something for the shop hop, and I'm going to share it with you guys today. And It's Shop Michigan Local out of my little star
Wow.
on the prairie pattern.
Wow. That is fabulous. Absolutely fabulous.
Isn't that just the and I did this in
Woo.
embroidery,
Oh my.
and these are some of our it's made out of these gorgeous Michigan fabrics that are exclusive to the shops that are carrying it, and of course, the public can't get their hands on this until June 1st, but I had to give some love to my local fabric shop, Yards of Fabric, because
Okay.
I will be there on Mondays all summer long.
Okay.
So if you want to just come in and say hi, I would absolutely love it.
And tell us what
And
town that is again.
Mason, Michigan.
Okay.
And I like to call it beautiful downtown Mason because we are actually on the courthouse square. It's quaint. When you drive into town, you're going to think you drove into a Hallmark movie.
I
Like,
saw pictures when you
it's
did some live videos there, and it
it's
just
amazing.
made me want to go.
Yes. So if you find any time in the summer, I'm
Oh,
my contribution to the shop is my patterns are available exclusively on Etsy right now and they're downloads. I don't print and mail, but I
correct.
have printed some for the shop just for my owner. And these were my samples of contributing to our Michigan shop hop. So I thought that was a really fun way to help give my local quilt shop back some love and attention and to bring some amazing sewing friends to the mid Michigan area.
Those are so special. So, so special. No pun intended there. So special.
So, so special. Yes. We're
Okay, well,
socially special. Yes, absolutely.
we do have one more thing we did definitely want to talk about, and Dawn has reminded me
Oh,
the "So It's for Sale" group. So that is another one of your Facebook pages,
yes.
right? That is private. So why don't
Yep.
you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's actually a group. So we keep it I set it up as a private group so we could really share anything and only people that I allow in have access to it. So it keeps it safe and all of the members have specifically been approved by myself. I don't let anyone in that looks spammy if they don't have pictures, if they just seem not legit, they just don't get in. So I try to create as safest place as I can on the web. We are at 120,000 members.
I know
If you
that's
want to
astonishing.
destash, you can destash. If you want to stash, I mean, there's some great sellers from destashers to retailers. I allow retailers in the site to asking questions to sharing items you've made. It's a really special place to my heart.
You are doing such a great service by doing that because people can get some great bargains.
Yep.
Like you said, you can, sell things on there that maybe, at one time you thought you really needed and wanted, and then we all know that changes.
Yes.
And it's so nice to be able to find somebody else that really is going to enjoy and benefit from using it. I mean, I've been doing I've got a running series of blog posts right now. I'm got a little hung up with a few other things, so I've got to get back on track. But of clutter busting and
Yes.
straightening up your sewing space and making your sewing space a happier place. And obviously, one of the things that's an idea is to, just take it to a thrift store. And there's
Mhm.
nothing wrong with that. And there's
No.
certainly a place for that. But being able to sell something and, reasonably price it to somebody that is going to take it and use it
Yes.
is just it's so much more beneficial if you can do that way. Brenda says it's dangerous.
It is dangerous. Oh my gosh. And
Oh
I'll tell
my.
you, like, I don't wanna, like, toot my own horn, but I have worked extremely hard to have, like, one of the best, um, like I said, it's 120,000 members, but we feel close knit.
Yes. And you
And
control it so well because you do
Mhm.
have to have really good rules in place to keep
Yes.
everything working. Joanne teases, yes, it is. It's dangerous.
My friend Cheryl, who's watching tonight,
Mhm.
she's my partner in crime. So, you know,
She helps keep things on track too.
she does help me keep
Absolutely.
things on track. Yeah, yeah.
So the best way to find that is I'll just type it's just so it's for sale, right?
So it's for sale. Yep. And it's here, I'll help you type that in.
I got it.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Robin says she has purchased some great fabrics and notions. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's,
And
yep.
when you go to the Facebook page, you'll see my logo or my face. I switch back and forth. So you know it's the right group. I do have a couple of, imposters. I just take it as a compliment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one of the other things that I wanted to talk about with Joanne for a minute before we got off is that I think she has given a really nice platform, and I try this myself too. And we are women that support other women. There's enough
Right.
room in these crazy businesses for all of us. And I think
Absolutely.
women supporting other women and um, giving each other that special joy and pick me up. And I think doing these Facebook lives helps people that maybe can't get out as much, and they
Yeah.
still get to enjoy everything with us. And I think the social aspect, which is why I named my business that, it gives us all happiness and a purpose.
Yeah.
And I started doing that when Mikey was really young because I needed a social outlet,
Yeah.
and I didn't have the time to go to retreats or the babysitting needs that I needed. So this platform has been absolutely a godsend, and I like to continue that for everyone else as well.
That is so true. And without all of our friends here
Mhm.
joining us and chatting and commenting and sharing the sites and talking about it, whether it's online or with their physical
Yeah.
friends, we wouldn't be here without all of
No.
you. So thank you to
Yes.
all of you who come and listen and stay and watch and give us so much good support. I know, I get a lot of emails and I'm always so thrilled when I see that I've been able to help somebody or somebody has a question and hopefully I can help them or they just want to share some pictures or anything like that. So it's always just
That's
makes me
exciting. I
feel good.
love seeing pictures.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we got to get a shout out to Ms. D. She just discovered the monthly show and we tuning in next month. Thank you, Ms. D. Yep, every month I try to do 2 shows a month at least. Hopefully, I'll add more in the future, maybe some more videos, but I do uh, the Monday night show. It's usually the fourth Monday of every month, except if there's a holiday. So there was a holiday this week, and so we pushed it one week further. But that is called the So Tell Me Show, and that's where I either do a fireside chat, answer questions, or interview somebody like my friend Jamie that has so much to share with everybody else. I've had a lot of different guests on and plan to have a whole lot more on. That's always fun. And then I usually do about the second Friday of the month tea and tutorials. And tea and tutorials is uh, just like it sounds, we're sipping some tea and doing a little tutorial. And for that one, I might do it myself. Very often, though, I have a guest as well. So what I like to do is share the expertise of everybody out there, and we all kind of mesh together on it and present something fun. So if you haven't already, I encourage you to subscribe to my email list. If you subscribe at letsgosew.com, I will send you a little love note every weekend, and then you will know whatever is going on. So that's the way we do things. All right, Jamie, it's been so much fun, and
Oh, thank you so much,
I've
Joanne. I appreciate you.
I've missed talking to you because we kind of just both got busy. I'm glad we were able to reconnect, and I'm so glad that everybody here has been able to visit with you too. So thank you everybody for being
Thank
here. Thank you.
you.
And until I see you again, I wish you all a world full of pretty stitches. Happy sewing.